Well, we get to talk to Stipe today after a great fight with JDS. It doesn't happen as often as it should, but your stock went up even though you lost. You know, it's one of those things where I could very easily see the rankings move you up higher even though you lost. Because really, how many more times can JDS, be in the title hunt? He's going at some point he's going to have to. They can't keep putting him in there. He's going to have to keep getting pushed out. So, what was the original game plan going into that fight?
Just kind of keep everything, stay my distance, and going for shots, coming out the shot, hitting them and stuff, using the cage, and it started working like that. But then I just got tired of the fourth or fifth round. I think you caught me that good shot, and after that, I think I got real tired for some reason. I don't know. I mean, you can say I have no gas tank, but I trained my ass off. And I think there was 5 rounds. I've never gone 5 rounds in my life.
That's the biggest thing is that, one, it's 5 rounds, and then 2, you took a lot of shots. And for people that have been hit quite a bit, you understand the more shots you take, the more energy you lose. It takes a lot out of you. Every single shot, not just body shots, head shots, shoulder shots, leg kicks, all of it does a lot of damage to you. Yeah. So going to that 5th round, when you got super tired and it was close at that point, it was really a close fight at this point. Did you have to adjust your game plan in the 5th round, or were you so exhausted you were on just complete muscle memory mode at that point?
No, I knew how to push the pace still. I felt it was 2-2 at least going in that round. I knew I needed to push the pace. So about the first round, the first 2.5 minutes, I was making sure I was still in there. We're going back and forth, and last 2.5 minutes, 2 minutes, I kind of pushed the pace. I thought I hit him, was hitting him more, pushing him back, cage control, whatever like that, and that was I knew what was going on. A lot of those muscle memory too. Okay.
It's a tough situation to be in, especially with a big 5-round fight like that. A huge amount of pressure outside the cage coming upon you. Hey, you win this, your title, interim title holder. You got all this other stuff going on. You're trying to get stuff put together. How was the pressure coming up to the fight, and did you feel any of that pressure inside the cage when you actually got in there? Because I know there was a lot more press on you, a lot more. Obviously it was a big 5-round fight. There's a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah, it's funny, you get emails and stuff telling me I'm going to get knocked out in 30 seconds, I'm terrible, I'm worthless, stuff like that. You know what I'm talking about. There was a lot of pressure. I was real nervous the day of, the whole morning. But when we got to the fight, I was just like, oh, well, I'm here now, I can't leave, I'm ready to roll. And, I was nervous. I think a lot of that nerves maybe took a little bit out of me. There's no excuse. I lost a fight. He was a better man. There's nothing I can do. Can't I go to the judges? And it is what it is.
Well, it's interesting. Most fighters I interview, and this is basically an after-action report. Like this, what were your plans before the fight? We know how the fight worked out. Now, what happened in the fight to kind of correct things? And you said you were nervous the whole day beforehand. And being nervous takes a lot of energy, too. Like when you're nervous, you spend a lot of energy. That obviously could add into the 5th round, not having as much energy going to the 5th. That's just natural. Were you able to eat and drink like you normally do before a fight, the day of the fight?
Yeah. I woke up. I do a little training in the morning just to kind of loosen up my body because sometimes you don't fight till late at night.
Right.
I kind of just wake my body up a little bit, get that almost like wrestling. You break that sweat, kind of blow out the lungs a little bit, and then we had a good breakfast. And I usually get some type of Subway, like a small Subway sandwich, for lunch, and then. About 3-4 hours before the fight, I usually don't eat anything just because I don't want to have an incident in the cage or something. And
it's funny. We're talking about the heavier guys always seem to have that incident. It's always the heavier. The most famous one obviously is Tim Sylvia, and it's just it's part of nerves. It's part of having upset stomach, and you would think it would happen more lighter weight guys because we cut so much weight and then have to replenish so much that our bodies are more screwed up. But you're right. That's a legit fear. And let me tell you something. It happened to me in wrestling, and when it happens, it haunts you for the rest of your career. It never goes away, and it's scary. You're like, dude, I can't help it. I'm in the middle of throwing a kick, and what do you want me to do? I can't clench everything. Something's going to happen.
It's the guy it happened to in college. It happened to him. I didn't know. It happened in the first round. I had no idea. The first period, I had no idea. And everyone else knew for 2 periods, and I didn't know until the last 15 seconds of the match.
Oh.
And I took him down. I already had a stalling call on me. And my coach was like, "You gotta get up." And I'm like, "All right." And I turned my head, and and his butt was right here. And I was like, "I'm not getting up. I'm up by 2. I'll take the point. So, but I mean, it happens. You know, it is legit. You know, and I was, you know, we can't really take anything, so I'm scared if I take Imodium, I'll get in trouble. You know, like so.
Yeah, it's tough. It's you are in a position where stuff that you normally use to stop that you can't because it's gonna blow you hot later if you have to take a drug test after the fight's over.
Yeah.
Well, so you were able to eat normally. You were nervous all day, rightfully so. That's typical.
Yeah.
But what did you learn? Because you know this is going to happen to you again. You're going to be in another 5-round fight. You're going to be in a title fight here pretty soon. It's not going to like this is the only time this is ever going to happen for you. You're one of those guys. It's going to happen a multitude of times for you throughout your career. So what did this first time as a 5-rounder? What did you learn from this fight?
You know, I not just me. I think my whole team. We all learned a lot about each other. You know, like we learned that. You know, one, I know I can take a punch.
Yeah.
2, I can go 5 rounds no matter how bad it is. 3, I just, you know, I learned that, you know, I just got to stop worrying about being nervous. You know, I just got to go out there and just perform, you know. And, you know, I was, you know, the last couple of fights I've been main eventing and stuff and co-maining, and I wasn't that nervous, you know, like, but for some reason, you know, I thought I'd be okay with this fight. I guess I wasn't, you know. My one coach who was real good at that stuff, he's like, you know, we're working on the next fight, you know, that was my fault. And he tries to take all the blame, but it was my fault, you know. And, you know, we learned a lot. It's more. I think we're gonna work more mental for next camp. You know, we're still gonna do the same things we do and even more, but we're work a lot more mental and talk and just, you know, I might go see a psychiatrist, you know, a sports psychiatrist or something like that.
Good. I mean, obviously we all know that GSP had to do it after he lost the Sarah fight. He couldn't figure out what was wrong with himself. Obviously physically gifted, athletically gifted, you know, and then just mentally was weak and went and got it taken care of. And he knew again he was getting into a position and he retires. But he retires as one of the best of all time. So it's like that's smart. That is a smart thing to go do. From my personal opinion on the outside, a guy that analyzes fights and watching your fight, the one thing I got to tell you is you've got to increase your defense. You've got to get better head defense. Your body defense, your leg defense is on par. You don't have any problem with that. It's your head defense. And I think if in the 4th round, if you could have stopped just half those shots more than the ones you took, in the 5th round, stopping half the shots versus what you took, you would have won the fight. And that would have been the difference. I don't know the exact number because I haven't talked to Reed yet and gotten the fight metrics breakdown of your fight. But it looks like to me that if you just defended yourself a little bit more and had the same output, that the fight would have been easily in your favor, not even relatively close.
100%, there's no question. You know, I felt like the first 3 rounds I felt okay. You know, I had my hands out better, but then, like I said, I got tired. My hands are falling down more as it's like, you know. And listen, it is what it is, man. I dropped my hands, I was going to get hit. You know, that's part of the game.
And the good thing is that you took a hit with a 5-ounce glove from a very big man who knows they hit very, very hard. And you didn't go down, and that is a huge testament to you and how big your head is. But don't keep doing it.
No, God, no, God.
Your career's going to get shorter.
I have kids. I want to be able to talk to them and have a good time with them.
I don't want to be in a drool cup trying to talk to somebody. I know it's tough, and this is one of the situations we talked about it, and of course the big conversation with Brendan Schaub and Joe Rogan talking about, hey, look, you're not an elite fighter, you need to retire. You're getting hit in the head is becoming a problem. When I used to work with the Atlanta Falcons, there was that, you know, my initial insight was, hey, look, this is a problem. Like, you know, head trauma is an issue, you know, within these sports. And you do worry about it as a fighter. And like you just said, you're worrying about your kids. Are you doing anything besides working on your defense for this next fight? But you do anything else to kind of help with your mental capability and trying to help with the damage that can happen from training and from fighting?
I mean, of course. You know, I don't spar a crazy amount. You know, I spar twice a week. You know, I got a big headgear on, you know, I make sure I have my hands up. You know, I just can't, you know, I worked a lot on the head. Really, like I said, I got tired, man. I mean, I don't care who you are. Your hands are going to fall. I mean, when you're tired, it's hard to keep your hands up. I don't care who you are. And like, I'll admit I was tired, you know, I mean, but I was ready for a 5-round fight. I trained for it. I was in shape. I know I was. And, but, you know, like I said, I'm going to do whatever it takes to, you know, for the next fight. That's, you know what, you know, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. So.
Exactly. Well, Stipe, thanks for coming on here. I appreciate it. What a great fight. That was an amazing fight to watch. Unfortunately, I wasn't there live, and I wish I was because that was incredible to watch on TV. I mean, and of course, we all know being in the crowd during a live fight when something like that goes off, it's even better. So
I'm not going to lie. That was probably one of the coolest feelings. Like, even after the fight before it was announced, just looking up, and like, even before the 5th round, everyone's on their feet screaming, going to the top of the lungs. Like, it was a pretty cool feeling. Even my coach was like, Man, that was like the coolest shit ever. I was like, I know, right?
It's amazing to have to have like an 8-week training camp, a 12-week training camp, to come down to 5 minutes of the 5th round and everyone is on their feet screaming for you. You're like, this is just nuts. This is just incredible what's happening right now. And it's all because of what I'm doing. It's because of me right now. And obviously JDS if he ran the whole fight, it would have been a different feeling. But he attacked too, so the two of you made that whole thing happen. And that's a feeling that you can never explain to anybody. No matter how much you try to explain it, no one will ever get it until they've actually had it happen to them. Yeah,
exactly. 100%.
All right, buddy. Thanks, Steve. Appreciate it, man. Have a great rest of the day. Heal up well, and we'll definitely be talking to you again before your next fight.
Yes, sir. Hey, Merry Christmas and have a Happy New Year.
Thanks, you too. We'll talk to you soon.
Yes, sir. Bye-bye.